Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about palming. If you want to make things vanish, move them around, change them into something else, it all starts in the palm. Towards the end of the video, I will talk about selecting the right size coin and some other tips and tricks. First, we'll get straight into it. The number one palm you need to learn is the classic palm, and it is right here in your palm. This is really hard for me to do it up high, but if I put it where I normally work, you can't see it. So I'm going to look a little twisted. When you put this in your palm, you want to squeeze your hand from the sides, not top to bottom. When you first start palming, it's really stiff and your fingers and thumbs are at weird angles because you're gripping it too tight. You're scared to drop it, and you know they're going to bust you. That hurt. Grip it side to side. You don't have to hold it real tight. You kind of curl your fingers in. You can still move around. And generally, since you want to curl your fingers a little, if your hands are out, keep them similar. Kind of mirror the hands. That way, they don't know what's going on. They're not, if this one's moving around and this one's stiff, you're busted. So keep them kind of similar, mirror them a little bit. Also, hold a wand. That way you have an excuse to have your hand closed. The classic palm is it's harder to learn than a couple of the others. It's not hard, but it's harder. But it's more functional. You can hold, see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hold multiple items at one time. That's kind of fun. Second one is the finger palm. It's kind of right here at the hand, right at the base of the fingers on that fleshy part of the hand. You kind of pinch it with your fingers. You curl your fingers a little bit. So you have to work on getting a relaxed look. Generally, again, I'm reaching for the wand, so it doesn't matter. This one's pretty good for functionality. I think the classic palm is better. And for ease, cupping is better. You just get the finger cup, just right there in the fingers. It just kind of hangs there. This one's not used for anything major, but if it's like a quick move, a quick change, a quick dump, you want to drop something off, you want to just move something from here to there, it's pretty useful. A lot of different finger clips. You can clip, very common, you want to do between the index and middle finger, in between the middle finger and ring finger, and the thumb palm. Now the thumb palm is really good. It goes right here in the fleshy part of the hand with the thumb. This one's nice because you can curl your thumb a little bit. You can move your fingers. This one's actually pretty good. And again, if you mirror your hands and they're similar, this is a really powerful one. This is easy to do, and it works very well. You got to watch your angles from the sides. It will flash, but as long as you're doing, back and forth this way, they're not really going to see it. You can move this way, just, from the side, they can see it more. Any of these can be seen from the side. This one is better from the sides. This is more angle proof. You can flash it, but you got to work hard at flashing it. None of these are particularly hard. You just have to practice. So when you're watching TV or YouTube, Netflix, whatever, just sit here and go from one to the other. Just move it around into the different palms. Just run through it and get your hands and the muscles used to doing it. Different items are going to palm differently. This is a ball from like a cup and balls. Generally, you don't need to palm these. This one's slick, so it doesn't really go into the classic palm well. You can kind of get it there, but it falls out very easily. This type of material is better in a thumb, or you can clip it way down here at your fingers, and it's not bad. If I need to move this around somewhat, like sometimes during cups and balls, you need to snag it out. Usually not. Depends on what you're doing. The finger cup is pretty good. It's not going to go real far. You don't keep it in here real long, but if you just need to move it around, this works. I love sponges. I really do. Don't underestimate sponges. People love them. But these are great because they're just, you can do anything with them. Clip it in your thumb, clip it in your fingers. I like to fold it in fourths. Put it in a thumb palm. Then you can actually come out and start doing your routine. Handing balls back and forth, doing whatever you want to do. And you've always got one extra. Helps you stay one ahead. And you can use that clipping to introduce a ball. You have this one here. You go, if you take it, there's a secret button and it pops out a second ball. Finger clip is very useful if you're reaching up to pluck one out from someone's ear. So you have to use different palms for different items. You just kind of work with them, see what works best for which type of item. The scariest one, but it's the most requested, is the card palm. Now you're thinking, this is giant. How does that hide in my hand? That's a good question. But you know what? This is actually one of the easiest. From my hand, it goes right at this joint of my pinky, right at the fleshy part of my thumb. And if you hold it that way, you'll see it pops one way or the other. If it pops out, it looks weird. Pop it in, it's right in your hand. This is really nice. And it's extremely easy. It's much easier than you think. And if you keep your hand moving, it really doesn't look that bad. Move your fingers, it flashes easily. And if you turn your hand too much at all, it flashes. But, know where it is and what it can do. Getting into it's easy. I'll do a close-up to show you. Basically, you're going to just pop a card over, out jog it. You don't have to out jog it that much. I'm just showing you. You out jog it a little bit. Get that finger in there. Squeeze a little, front to back, and it will just jump in your hand. Try it. It's really easy. If your hand is big enough to hold a card, you can palm a card. This is one of the easiest to do. And surprisingly, people don't see it. Even the ones that think they expect it. Oh, they're going to watch it. They don't really see it because you can move around pretty naturally. As I said, I'm in this weird video frame, so I'm up here and it's weird. But generally, down here where you can't see it, it's much more relaxed. This room is so small, I need somewhere better to film. This is an easy palm. It was the most frightening because I'm like, how in the world they're going to bust this? This is just, it's amazing. It's really easy to get into. Like I said, you hit that corner, pop it in, it just jumps in your hand. Do not underestimate the wand. The wand is great because you can sit here and pointing over here, so you're drawing the attention away from your palm, and it gives you a reason to have your hand closed. So I always try and hold my wand just between my finger and thumb, and it just goes in here, whether I'm palming anything or not. I just hold it this way all the time as a habit. So when I am palming something, it looks the same if I'm palming something or not. You need to practice with different items, but even with coins, you need different sizes. Depending on where you are. In the US, I used quarters. A lot of magicians love the 50-cent piece. To me, the 50-cent piece just always kind of suspicious. It is real money, but I have never, I'm old, I'm retired, I have never received or seen a 50-cent piece in the US except in my grandfather's coin collection or in a magician's hand. To me, the 50-cent piece is just automatically suspicious. You may as well break out, look, this standard $2 bill. It's legal tender, but come on. So I don't like the 50-cent piece personally. I like the size and the weight of it, but I don't like using it because it's not a normal item. Never has been in my life. And like I said, I'm already retired. Here in the Philippines, what works, we have a 5 peso, which is a little bit smaller than a quarter. We got this beautiful brand new 20 peso they just released. Two-toned, it's thick, it's heavy. I love it. Feels great to work with. This is probably why they like the 50-cent piece. This is not as large, but it has that feel. I like working with it. It's a beautiful coin. It's a common coin. This is only 40 cents US. 5 peso is 10 cents. These are everywhere. If I'm stacking like I do the multiple coins, 5 peso is perfect for that. Doing the coin roll, 5 peso is a little small, but it works. Quarter is my favorite. This 20 is just kind of heavy. And so I'm having to go real slow with it while I learn. This is not palming, but this is what I do when I watch a movie. This 20 is really weird. So it's going to take some work. I love rolling quarters, and this is killing me. One of the main things is practice. When you're doing it, keep your hands looking similar. You don't want them twisted, and you don't want the fingers too stiff. Curl them up a little bit. Like I said, I'm way up high, so I don't like this. But as you're going around, you can do it. Move your hands around. As long as they look similar, and nobody knows which one is palming anything. Of course, right now, they both are. You can move them around, do what you want. Depending on the palm, you can open your fingers. So you have to know which one does what, how it works on the item you're holding. Just practice it. When you're watching TV, sit there and get that muscle memory. Once we get palming down, we can start working on vanishes. Because when it vanishes, it's got to have somewhere to go. Because it ain't really vanishing, right? You know, looks like it's vanishing, but it's not. So that's where practice the palming, get the palming down really well, get a couple favorites. You know, I prefer one palm over another. You may have your favorites. Doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you works. Once you get the palming down, you can start working on the vanishes. For more detailed instructions and pictures, please visit the blog at FreeMagicFun.com. Keep practicing.